Well, initially, the way we used flashcards was for me to create a deck at the end of the chapter, and then I would present it to the students, and they could use it for review. And once they learned how to create the flashcards, they were then given the opportunity to create a set of maybe 10 or more flashcards for each chapter. And they found it a lot of fun because they got to send their flashcards to their classmates and they could quiz one another, and this group was very competitive, so that was a good thing. They had a lot of fun with it. And after they got used to using it in the geometry class, I know many of them were using it outside of the geometry class for history, for science, for foreign language. They were creating their own flashcards, and I think primarily they used them as a way to review, because at this age a lot of students create flashcards on index cards when they're studying for tests. And this way, it was a much more fun way to do it for them. And so I know a number of them used it outside of the geometry classroom. This geometry class was made up of 8th graders who are accelerated. Normally in the 8th grade, students take Algebra 1. So this group consisted of anywhere from year to year 10, plus or minus a couple of students. And the students all have, in my class, a tablet PC. And on that tablet PC, they have an electronic version of the textbook, so they don't have to lug that heavy book around with them. And they also have some software called the Geometer's Sketchpad, which we use extensively throughout the year. With regards to the textbook, students were very proficient with that. They could take notes actually in the textbook. They could cut and paste pictures into their notes. They would create a journal page and take notes that way instead of doing it with pencil and paper. And the Sketchpad, they could do the same thing. They could create figures there, cut and paste into their notes. So it helped a lot for them to understand the concepts as well. What I think would really be nice is to have some sort of software where the students could collaborate with one another instead of having to go to the board to put work on the board. If there was some sort of software that could be developed where they could see one another's figures on their own screen and write on that screen, and that writing would then transfer to everyone else's screen. I just think it would be much more interesting for the students than just going to the board and doing problems on the board.